Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. The Rail, Tram and Bus Union has agreed to run regular train services in Sydney tomorrow night, effectively delaying planned strike action until Friday morning. Rail workers were planning to walk off the job from 10 p.m. tomorrow, but the strike action will now run from Friday morning to Sunday. It means train services will run tomorrow as usual. The strike is expected to impact services on the Newcastle Central Coastline. The union is blaming the government for the stoppage, saying it has refused to run permanent 24-hour train services on Thursday, Friday and Saturday nights. Newcastle police say a family is grief-stricken as an investigation continues into the fatal stabbing of a man in Hamilton. The 22-year-old was allegedly attacked after stopping to get something to eat on Beaumont Street on his way home from work in the early hours of Sunday morning. Jason Talbot and Olivia Briggs have been charged with murder, and they were formally refused bail in court yesterday. Superintendent Kylie Ndemi says support is being provided to the man's family.
They are grief-stricken, as anyone would expect. As I said, they are living a family's worst nightmare at the moment, losing their 22-year-old son through certainly what we will allege is no fault of his own.
Transport Minister Joe Haylen is under pressure from the New South Wales Council for Civil Liberties to remove an exclusion zone which has been put in place for a planned protest at the Port of Newcastle. Any vessels or people who enter the exclusion zone, which stretches from Horseshoe Beach to Nobby's Beach and is in place from 5 p.m. tomorrow to 8 a.m. next Monday, will be hit with a maximum fine of $1,100. Council President Timothy Roberts says the action planned by the protesters isn't an offence, and the exclusion zone goes against a person's right to protest.
Paddling a kayak in the Port of Newcastle is not an offence, let alone doing it in the act of protest. So the Newcastle South Wales government preventing anyone from swimming or paddling in the port because they're scared of this potential disruption to operations is a cost to our civil liberties that is too great. The exclusion zone must be abandoned.
It comes as members of Rising Tide prepared to protest outside Joe Haylen's Sydney electorate office this morning from 9:30. Meanwhile, Newcastle Deputy Lord Mayor Callum Paul is doubling down on his call for Lord Mayor Ross Kerridge to call off his support for Rising Tide. He says moving the event from Camp Shortland to Foreshore Park is likely to cause significant damage, which could take months to remediate. Lake Macquarie Council invites several contractors to tender for the design and supply of a dredge and sand transfer system for Swansea Channel. Mayor Adam Schultz says Council compiled a short list of potential suppliers after calling for expressions of interest last year. He says the dredge will bring a wide range of benefits to the community once in place.
It'll give people travelling in their boats peace of mind that they can come into and out of the lake without obviously getting stuck. It'll relieve a lot of the marine rescue issues. It'll also promote tourism. People who come into the lake need to know that they can get in and out in a safe and appropriate manner.
No coal or passenger trains are running on the Hunter Valley network until Friday due to major track work. Crews from the Australian Rail Track Corporation are carrying out more than 800 different maintenance jobs between Newcastle Port and Narrabri. Buses are replacing commuter trains on the Hunter line.
2NURFM Sport.
The Newcastle Jets are preparing for a dogfight when they face the Central Coast Mariners in their F3 derby on Friday. Fullback Dane Ingham says the match at Allianz Stadium will be a challenging one.
It's always a tough game against them, especially being a derby. The last 4 years I've been here, I've only known them to be a derby game, and they're always up for that.
Lake Macquarie's Georgia Beekov has helped guide the Paramatildas to victory in the Women's World Cup. The team scored a 6-2 victory over the USA in the final. Knights fans are wondering who Tamika Upton's potential replacement will be following the news of her request for immediate release from her contract. Emerging juniors could be the club's answer, with Lillian White, Evie Jones and Ava McKeown all possible players that could fill Upton's shoes. And Lord Mayor Ross Kerridge supports the prospect of Newcastle hosting the 2026 Rugby League World Cup. Following news, the city will host Women's State of Origin and NRLW Magic Round. That's sport. I'm Meredith Blair.
And the winning numbers in Oz Lotto are 2, 8, 9, 10, 18, 34 and 40, and the supplementaries are 3, 32 and 37. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.